Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday evening class. So tonight I have my board meeting. I think I've shared with all of you that I sit on a nonprofit yoga organization, and we have a board meeting every other month on Tuesday evenings. So that's where I am tonight. So instead of us practicing together live, I decided to put together this little short practice for you that you can, or video, so that you can practice along with. All right, so go ahead, get your lift. Could be your blanket, blocks, or a pillow. And then go ahead and sit in Sukhasana. You know, Sukhasana is easeful pose. So we aim in this pose to bring a sense of easefulness, stability, and comfort so that we can start to cultivate those qualities internally as well. So sit right with your center of your shin bones crossed. Have your feet back and underneath your knees. And then let your legs settle. Just take a moment and come into your breath. And then we want to turn our inner thighs in. So we got a nice wide base in which to sit. So go ahead, lean to your right side. Take your left hand, slide it underneath, right at the top of your thigh. Walk your fingers underneath so they come to the inner thigh. And then turn your inner thigh muscles down toward your lift. And then pull the flesh of your thigh and your buttocks out to the side. And sit upright. Notice the difference between the left side and the right. Maintain that on the left side as you lean to the left. Take your right hand right to the top of your thigh. Walk your hands underneath to your inner thigh muscles. Pull the flesh of your inner thighs down. And then pull the flesh of your thighs and your buttocks out to the side. So you sit more and more into the bones of your pelvis instead of the flesh of your hips or your buttocks. Hopefully by doing that, you feel more grounded and this ability or capacity to start to lift up through your lower back and your side ribs. Now, take your hands, bring them alongside your hips, press into your hands and continue to lift your side body, your torso up and out of your hips without disturbing your hips. So keep your hips grounded, keep your hips settled, lift all the way up into your armpits and then roll your outer shoulders onto your back to broaden your chest. Keep those three main actions, the hips settled, the spine lifted, the chest broad. And then bring your hands together right at the base of your heart space. Press your hands into your chest, into the base of your sternum. Then go ahead and close your eyes and rest your attention onto your breath. And just begin to feel yourself breathe. On your next exhalation, breathe out a little bit more. And on your next inhalation, breathe in a little bit more fully. And repeat that without strain, without over effort. Begin to deepen your breath. Begin to slow your breath down. Remembering to never force the breath. Move to your rhythm, your capacity. And as we begin to slow the breath down, let's begin to deepen the breath. We can use the breath as the way inward. To be more present in our bodies. More present with our practice. And more present with one another. Continue to slow your breath down to breathe deeply. Begin to smooth the breath out. Turning the inhalation into the exhalation, which slowly gives way to the next inhalation. Let's do that a couple more times. Stay tall through your torso, and your next exhalation, bow your head. Bow your head a little bit deeper. And then release your hands. Open your eyes. And lift your gaze. Sukasana Twist. Take our right hand. Bring it behind you. Press down into your hand. Continue to lift your waistline up as you stretch up with the opposite arm and create an evenness on both side bodies. And turn your torso to the right. Spread your back ribs, your left ribs away from your spine as you bring your hand down. Now press into both hands and lift your lower abdomen. Lift your torso up and off your hips, staying grounded through the pelvis. And then turn a little bit more fully. Take a deep breath. And then turn your head and look back and over your right shoulder. Relax your left shoulder down. And then on your next exhalation, come back to center. Let's do that on the other side. Bring your left hand behind you. Press into your hand, but lift the left side up. Stretch up through your opposite arm and create an evenness on both sides of your body. Now turn your torso to the left. Press down into both hands and lengthen your spine more. Roll both shoulders onto your back and spread the right ribs away from the spine. Take a breath and then look back and over your left shoulder. Continue to breathe. And then on your next exhalation, come back to center. Go ahead and grab your blocks. Bring them out front. You can have your blocks on any height. Right? Stay tall through your torso. Keep lifting your lower abdomen up. Lift it up and then over your legs. Walk one hand out and then the other. Continue that. And use your arms just the way we did a moment ago to lengthen your spine. Relax your neck. Keep stretching out of your hips, out into your armpits. From your armpits, stretch out into your fingertips. Keep your hips moving back and down, so away from your head. One more breath. And then walk your hands back in. Come back upright. Take your blocks off to the side. And let's change the cross of our legs. Excuse me. So we'll do that little sequence on the other side with our legs crossed differently. Take your right hand behind you. Sukasana Twist. Press into your hand. Lift your lower abdomen. Lift up through your chest. Stretch up through the opposite arm. And then turn your torso to the right. Now press down into both hands and lengthen the spine more as you begin to turn your left ribs, the left side of your body, more and more to the right. Now keep your armpits lifted, your spine lifted as you relax your shoulders. And then turn your head this time and look over your left shoulder. See that you're breathing. And on your next exhalation, bring your head back to the center of your chest. And then bring your torso forward. Last time, bring your left hand behind you. Press down into the left hand. Lift the whole left side body up. Stretch up through the opposite arm and create this evenness through your torso. Then turn to the left. Press down into both hands, lift up through the spine. Turn the right ribs. more and more to the left. Take a breath. Then look forward and over your right shoulder. On your next exhalation, bring your head back to the center of your chest and then bring your torso forward. Get your blocks again, bring them out in front. On any height. You may try lower them from the last time, or you can keep them in the same place if that felt appropriate. Press into your hands, lift your abdomen up, stretch your torso away from your hips as you walk your hands out. Use your arms to extend your ribs one off the other. When you've come to your maximum for tonight, stretch out through your thumbs and your index fingers to elongate your inner arms. Now reach your hips back. Take a breath or two or three. Smooth, even breathing. And then walk your hands back. Come upright. And take your blocks off to the side. Go ahead and extend both legs out. And bring your legs into, or come into staff pose, stick pose, Dandasana. So you want both legs to be straight. You want to sit forward onto your lift so that the tops of your thighs are just barely on the lift. Now stretch out through your heels, stretch out through the inner edges of your feet. Press into your hands. And again, lift up into your armpits. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Straighten the backs of your legs. Firm your kneecaps. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and come up to standing. So go ahead and grab one of your blocks. Bring it into the center of your mat. And then watch. And you may need to be near a wall, so you can use that. I have my hand on my back wall here. So I bring one heel onto the block and then the other. And then I press strongly into the mounds of my big toes. Right? And so from here, I don't want to be folded forward from my hips. I'm not going to let my hips come forward. I have my hip bones right over my ankle bones. My shoulders right over my hips. And not letting my belly pop forward. I pull my side ribs back and in line with my hips. And then from here, I'm going to extend my arms up overhead. Okay, so let's do that together. Again, if you need to be at the wall, go ahead and do that. I know I said to be at the center of your mat, but be where you need to be. Right, so you can use one hand onto the wall, step one heel onto the block, and then the other. Join the inner edges of your feet. Press strongly into the balls of your big toes and spread your toes well. Now bring weight back and into the heels so your thigh bones are over your knees, knees over your hips, over your ankles. Stretch your spine up, shoulders over your hips, abdomen or side ribs are back. Now extend your arms out in front and lace your fingers deep into the webbing. Press your palms forward and pull or draw your thumbs and your index fingers back. Hug your arms in toward one another. And then inhale, extend your arms up overhead. Get tall. Really lift your abdomen up and out of your pelvis. Stretch and lift your lower back up and out of your hips. Take your upper arms more and more behind your ears and just keep your gaze soft and forward. One more breath. Exhale your arms down. Turn your palms in and lace your hands the opposite way. So the opposite pinky fingers at the bottom of your handhold. And then press your hands forward. Reach your arms up. Use your arms like we did when we were seated to lift your spine, to create that length through your torso. Keep pressing the weight into the balls of your feet, particularly the big toe mounds and in the heels of your feet. One more breath. Take the upper arm bones back behind your ears. And then exhale the arms down. Turn your palms in. Release the arms. And then come and stand in mountain pose. You can stand with the inner edges of your feet together. You can stand with your hip bones, your feet hip bone width apart. But lift your inner arches. Press down through the legs. Bring the weight back into the heels like we did on the block. But don't get light on the front of your feet. Right? Keep lifting up to the lower abdomen, lifting up to the front of your chest. Reach from the shoulders down into your fingertips and keep lifting the armpits up. Come into your breath. And then release. All right. Let's come to the wall. Bring the short edge of your mat to the wall. Take one of your blocks and bring it to the wall. Have the long edge of the block to the wall. All right. Take your second block. Just bring it on what's going to be the back of your mat. We're going to do triangle. So we're going to do it together. Go ahead and bring the outer edge of your left foot along the block and then take a nice wide stance. Stand with the outer edges of your feet parallel and your hands onto your hips. So really strengthen the legs and make the legs strong and engaged by pressing into your heels, pressing into the balls of your feet. Keep lifting up through the side waist, the side chest. Now turn the right leg out, 90 degrees. Now make both legs straight again. Now bring your right ribs forward, remembering the twisting action of Sukhasana. Now reach out through the arms, broaden your chest. Keep this, keep pressing into the left foot, and then reach out and over. And bring your hand down onto the block on any height. Press the block away from you and turn your chest toward the ceiling. Reach out through your fingertips. Take one more breath. And then press into both feet and inhale, come up. Bring your hands to your hips, feet parallel, and then step your feet together. Let's do that on the other side. So you can just turn around, but I'm gonna take my block off to the other side so I can continue to face the camera. So this time, bring your right foot to the outer edge of the mat or the block, and then step your feet nice and wide. Make both legs engage. So lift your kneecaps up, press down into your heel, lift through your spine, and extend your arms out from the center of your chest. Then turn the left leg out. Get tall, lift into your armpits. Now keep pressing down into the right foot and stretch out and over the left leg and bring your hand down onto the block. And if you don't need the block, you can bring the hand all the way to the floor. But then again, remember Sukasana Twist. So turn your belly up toward the ceiling. Turn your chest. Turn your shoulders up toward the ceiling and extend both arms out of the center of your chest. Take one more breath. Press into your feet and inhale, come up. Turn your feet to parallel, heel toe your feet in, and step your feet together. All right. Take our blocks off to the side. Let's stay at the wall. Go ahead and stand so your left side's at the wall. Bring your left hand here. Standing in mountain pose, have the inner edges of your feet together. Bring your weight back and into your heels. And then go ahead and turn the right leg out. Turn it out to 90, just like we just did. Pick the foot up and place the foot as high into your inner leg without any part of the foot on your knee. So the whole foot's above the knee or below the knee. Now extend out through your right knee. Stretch up through your right arm. You can keep your hand here on your support, or you can reach the arm up the wall and even take the arm away from the wall. If you do, rotate both arms so your palms face in toward one another. Restorative tree pose. Take a breath. And then turn your palms away, stand down into both feet. Come back into your mountain pose. Let's do that on the other side. Have your right hand at the wall. Stand in mountain pose. So get your hips back and over your knees over your ankles. Stand tall. Now turn your left leg out. Turn it out a little bit more. Pick the foot up. Have the whole foot above or the whole foot below the knee. Now press the foot and the leg in toward one another and extend out through the bent knee. Now reach up with your left arm. Get tall. Lift your ribs up and out of your hips. You can slide your right hand up the wall. You can keep the hand here if you need, but as you can, begin to move the hand away from the wall. Lift up. Take one more breath. Bring your hand back to the wall and stand down on both feet and then come back into mountain pose. One more standing pose for tonight. Wide leg forward bend. So I'm going to turn my mat. You don't have to. I'm going to take my blocks. You may or may not need them and bring them out to the front edge of my mat. Now, you know, we can do together. Stand with your feet nice and wide. And have the back edge of your heels at the back edge of the mat. See now how my hips are forward of my ankles. I'm going to move the tops of my thighs back. So now the tops of my thighs are in line with my ankles. I want you to do the same thing. Press into your outer heels, your outer edges of your feet. Get tall, lift up, roll your shoulders onto your back, and then bring your hands to the top of your thighs, not the top rim of your pelvis, and move the tops of your thighs back. Stretch your torso forward. Keep your hips in line with your ankles as you bring your hands down and onto your blocks or down onto the floor and press the support away from you. Roll your inner arms, your bicep muscles so they face toward your fingertips and stretch your torso forward. So energetically, not physically, but energetically drag your hands back toward your legs and see if you can feel your spine lengthening. Take one more breath. Press into your legs, hands to your hips, and then inhale, come up. And then go ahead and walk your feet in, and then step your feet together. All right. Take your blocks off to the side. And then we're going to come down to our mat. Like I said, tonight it's a short practice. So the next pose is going to be our restorative pose. So I want you to do legs up the wall. So I want you to grab your blankets or a bolster if you have one, unless you know that when you do this pose with support underneath your hips is uncomfortable, then you can just do it with nothing underneath your hips. But notice how I bring my blankets to the wall, and I have a little space here. It's about 2 to 3 inches. And then I sit sideways. Notice how I'm touching the wall physically. And I'm going to lean away from the wall, come onto my side of my hips, so my buttocks is up the wall. Then I come down onto one shoulder, take my opposite leg up, and then both legs up. So now the support is underneath my low back and the top of my hips. And then just bring your arms out to the side. Scrub your heels up the wall. Press out to the inner edges of your big toes, the inner edges of your heels. Just allow your shoulders to relax down and onto the floor. And then bring your attention again back into your breath. Relax your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. And soften your eyes away from your eyelids. Just begin to notice where you feel your breath. Just the way we did at the beginning of class, see if you can begin to slow your breath down. On your next exhalation, breathe out a little bit more fully. And on your next inhalation, breathe in a little bit deeper. Remembering not to strain or force the breath in any way. And continue to repeat that only to your capacity. Go ahead and cross your legs. Allow the wall to continue to support your feet and your legs. Continue to breathe deeply, slowly, without strain or force. And then change the cross of your legs. And keeping your legs crossed in this way, go ahead and slide yourself away from the wall. And bring your legs to be supported on the blanket. Now your hips and the back of your head, the back of your shoulders are all on the same level. And your feet, your thighs are elevated. Again, soften your eyes away from your eyelids. Relax your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Allow your hands to soften as your fingers begin to curl in toward the palm of your hands. See if you can feel the softness in your abdominals, your abdomen. Allow your legs and your hips to be heavy. And then go ahead and bring your feet to your blanket. And actually pull your blanket forward to lift your hips. And go ahead and straighten your legs. Draw the blanket toward your head just so that the blanket can support the backs of your knees, the backs of your legs. Extend your legs straight and have your heels physically touching the floor. Lift your upper back and extend your upper back, your back ribs up toward your head, and then lower your spine back onto the floor. Relax in Savasana. You can stay here in your Savasana as long as you like. When you're ready, and when you bring your foot to the floor and then the other. Roll to one side as you extend your arm and support your head. Press into both hands. Come back up into your seat. Back into Sukhasana. Bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra. What a deep sense of gratitude to yourself for taking this time out for yourself. From the light in my heart, the light in yours, I bow. Namaste.